Hate missing that door. It's like the ultimate, like, just screw you in this game. It's like, you can't even get started. At any point, actually, I kind of feel like this game's just telling me to quit. It's like, you know, I'm doing everything right up until one point. Game's like, nah, fam. Not how it's going. Yeah, well, this guy, why is he standing in my way? Great question. I have no clue. Too close. Gotta make sure I'm making love to that pillar. Right. The game is telling me you're done. Right, give me through. Not happening today. Whenever I go to the front of the table, like side of the table, right, and I get that boost, I'm always just like, what's the point? What's the point of attempting any of these stabs? The game's gonna tell me to pick a different one instead. Oh, that worked out good. A little grindy on those points, but what can you do? Maybe? That's not gonna do it. Got a little stuck on it. not a huge deal. Because those doors weren't open anyway. What are you gonna do? Looking pretty good. Alright, probably not a 17, but yeah, a little slow. Pause a lot more. Up until a couple days ago, I wasn't really looking for the pause like trouble years. That has helped a lot. Now I know most of the time whether I'm getting it. Although sometimes I'm still having trouble like, did I not get the quick pause or did I just get the really good one where you don't see anything? And I'm not really 100% on separating those. Although it's kind of obvious. Sometimes I feel like I'm like, oh, that is definitely correct. Like a quick pause later in the level, or in other levels, I'll notice. I'm like, wow, that's a big difference. Only be allowed to speedrun event mode. Event mode is like the worst speedrun ever because it's so luck-based the entire way through. Like, if you're doing event ILs or something like that, that's cooler. But like, otherwise, bleh, not really cool. That was actually a conundrum I had a bit where I was like, I really wanted to like speedrun Brawl because I like that game, but I was like, what category? Subspace Emissary is like 3 hours, and then like all events is just a kind of ridiculous, to be honest. It's just not even like, it's the same deal as Melee. It's just like so RPG based, and like you don't get to pick like one character and learn immediately. You just learn a whole bunch of little ones and put them together. There's not really IO boards for that game either. I'm gonna turn up. Alright, this ought to fix that, hopefully. I'm just gonna turn my other stuff down. Is that better? I'm playing around with my settings a little bit, like, so my capture card behaves weirdly a lot of the time. And sometimes I have to window cap Amarek. Sometimes I'm able to do, like, direct capture and all that, and that's messing up my setup super hard. Alright, yeah, but like, Melee event mode is just kind of ridiculous for various reasons, because there's just so many RNG elements the entire way through, and I don't think that's much fun at all. Same deal with Brawl, and then the other thing about Brawl is that the other category, I guess you could speedrun is like, what, you know, Subspace Emissary. It's like 3 hours. No, I'm not down for that. I don't want to play a game that long. So, Target Test seems like it's a fun time for Melee and whatnot, but there's not the same ranking system as the Elite, which is one of the things that I actually like about this game. It's like the whole point system for getting times. It doesn't really exist for Target Test or any other community, really. I think I missed the key. Come on, I think I missed the key though, so this is a dead run. I definitely missed the key. Yeah, Fuzziness, he's actually good. Like, he's good at speedrunning a variety of games, but I do like his Melee speedruns. Like, whenever I've seen them, they're pretty fun. That said, I don't think it's something I would personally want to do as much. At least not full game runs. Not full game event mode. That does not sound very fun. Individual levels, though, I can get down with that. I just like individual level speedruns better, generally, I think. Like, just getting all the attempts in, and, like, there's no, like, whole, you know, thing about, like, you sink a whole bunch of time into a run just for it to be a failure, right? It's like Max in GoldenEye you'll ever put into a run that's a failure is like 4 minutes. Oh man, that could have been really nice. That said, that was still kind of a stretch for 17, because I got stuck on the guard. Yeah, same deal with Perfect Dark, is like the max you'll ever waste is like 4 minutes. Like on a failed run. And then you get lots more attempts to runs. Also, it does minimize the RNG elements to some degree when you do that, because, you know, you're able to, it balances out over enough attempts. So that's not true with, like, or it is true with a real-time attack run. It just takes much longer for you to hit that point. What's up, Hyper? AKA Toby, AKA Misunderstood Genius, AKA Clipman, the man of many names. Just here having a degenerate stream, trying to break my record. The world record is 17. I have an 18. It would represent a 100-point gain on the elite rankings, which is pretty big for me, I guess. That would put me from, what, 210th to 150th or something like that on the ranks, if I can just get this. So I'm getting close, hopefully. Of course, the grind from 150th to 100th, or like top 100, is much harder. So, but I will have this time out of the way, and I won't have to go for it anymore, because this time really sucks to play for. I really want to, next I want to do like Depot. I think Depot is going to be fun. Nah, no. Early boost. That early boost that sends you to the wall just is no good. So actually, no. So I only picked up this game in December, and I have one 97-point time, which is a damn Agent 53. The world record is 52 and was set actually in December. So I have 97 points there. And then elsewhere, I just have a whole bunch of irrelevant times, because there are 20 stages with 3 difficulties. So there are 60 total times you can have points on. So there are like 6,000 available points on the rankings. I have 97. The thing is, though, that like towards the lower levels of the rankings, like you can get to top 100 with only 1,200 points, right? So, and once you have a couple of these, they're called boring 4 world records out of the way, then you can start playing, you gain enough skill at the game to be playing other levels and, you know, be able to get strong times that aren't just these world record or bust levels. Because the problem with the current boring 4, I guess, is that they are actually fairly grindy times. Well, that's not what I want. I want to change controls. Because Alright, so I guess it is real contested. It's just that the real competition is like... Alright, so there are, I think, 1,200 players on the rankings, right? Or something like that. It's just that the vast majority of them don't have any points. It's hard to get points, right? And then of those, you know, there are people with like 10 points, right? I have 97. And then after that, it starts to get pretty contested. Like, because jumping from, you know, say 180th or whatever, 150th, whatever I have, up to like 100, that requires a 200, like a 1,000-point gain, which is a lot. Yeah. But yeah, the thing about the boring 4 world records is, like, way back in the day, if you got, like, a bunker, the boring 4 world record was Bunker 1 18, and that's a not difficult time. I got it within, like, a day of playing. Like, literally, I played Bunker 1, and my first day playing Bunker 1, I got 18. But then it's been a month and a half since then. I haven't gotten 17. It's the same deal for Damn 53. 54 used to be, you know, tons of everyone's first points, and then, you know, 53, when it became world record or bust, it's hard to just get that, right? Like, it requires actual skill to get a 53, whereas a 54, most people can do. So yeah, GoldenEye, it's a Hunt and Perfect Dark. They're only console. Emulators just handle lag differently, and so they're not really allowed. But you are allowed to play different versions of the game. So there's like NTSC, NTSC-J, and PAL. Most of the levels, NTSC is better, or like either NTSC-U or NTSC-J, but a couple PAL is better because of lag. There's some complicated stuff that you probably don't care about that goes into that, but this one is NTSC favored. So I'm playing on the... I could play NTSC J. It's not really much of a difference. The only thing you need to do is, like, swap the back of a cartridge out, and you can play NTSC J on a NTSC U system. Oh, that was a good boost. Ah, well. Okay, yeah, so I guess I don't know what communities you're really like with, you know what I mean? Like I see that you have like all those speedrunning emotes you drop all the time, but I don't know. I only really know my little corner of GoldenEye, and just N64 games in general. Like but anyway, the deal with PAL is that like it runs at 50 frames per second, but because of the way that developers put in some lag reduction, like mechanics, the way they coded it makes it better in very, very laggy levels, like Train. Train is an example of one where there are just tons of guards all over the place, and what makes it PAL better is that in order to make it not like a slideshow, they make some cuts in other places, so that it ends up being faster. But yeah, that's something that like you don't really have to worry about unless you're like a top level player, because you can still achieve all the boring 4 world records and a lot of great times with PAL. Like Wouter Jansen first achieved this. Like when this time was set, Funk 117 was set in 2003. He did it with PAL. Also, he did it with the slower control style 1.1, and he did it without a quick pause at the beginning, which saves, I think, like half a second. So, pretty nuts, honestly. Nah. I think I missed the key. Oh yeah, like see what's going on in the level? Alright, so first thing you do is like, you do a really quick pause at the beginning of this level, right? And the more times you pause in GoldenEye, the quicker that it goes. And in-game time, like the pause doesn't happen, right? And then you pause here, which gets you boosted. The guards will shoot you forwards, right? You switch to the camera, okay? And then you strafe this way, take a picture, and you want to grab this key, right? And then after that, like once you have the key, you want to strafe again, like over to this door. And you want to pause right in front of those guards. And when you pause right in front of them, you hope that they boost you. Like as in, like you get boosted past them. If you don't, or you get back boosted, like shot backwards, they just pause out. You quit out the level, and if you see a 13, then that means you're on pace for a 17, which is the world record. If you see a 14, that's an 18, that type of thing, right? See, so I just got back boosted, but I unpaused, right? So that means that I'm gonna have like a 17, right? But had I unpaused correctly the first time, I would have seen 13, hopefully. That means that I did everything right up until that point. Alright, great table deuce. Nope. Now I want to see a 13. There we go. So that was world record pace. I just need to make sure that I can get it through the hallway. stuck, man. Cornered. Yeah, well, that was bad. Got to mention, thanks Cogwhistle and Engwil for the, I think that's how you say that, for the follows. I don't really have a bot set up to announce those, but I do get emails on my phone, which I have right here for those. So, appreciate y'all. I am now at 40 followers, right? So, 10 more and I can apply for affiliate. So, that's pretty nice. Ooh, this is looking good. Yes, yes, yes. This is exactly what I'm looking for. See if I can make it happen. Get out of my way. Oh, nope. That guard trolled me. So, what you do is, you're not able to shoot for most of this level. Because you have to switch out the PP7 for the camera, right? So, you're not able to shoot any guards. You just have to take a camera. And you don't want to either, because you want them to boost you. Not that way, though. You want them to boost you forward. Because they boost you forward. Like that propels you. It saves about 0.3 seconds for each boost that you get. So, you want a lot of them. Yeah, I don't really, I don't know, man. It's weird, because I got, like, 30 followers basically immediately. Like, I got a ton of people following me. But then, since then, I'm just, like, it's taken me a much longer time to get to 40, right? And then I think it's going to take a while as well for me to get to 50. I don't know why that is, but whatever. I meet all the other requirements for affiliate. That's the only one I still need. I'm getting there. Hopefully I can go ahead and wrap up this level and get Bunker 117, and then I can play a new level, right? And then maybe that'll attract more people, because this can be kind of a boring level to watch, I think. It's not as boring to watch as it is to play, but it's still cool. Like, the thing that I like about streaming Bunker 1 is that I'm able to talk to people, like, in chat and whatnot, and it keeps it from being too boring for me. So, no, the camera snap isn't really a cutscene skip. Like, it's just one of the objectives, which, like, because I can... This run's dead, but look, I snap a whole bunch of camera things. That's just one of the objectives you do. There's no cutscenes in GoldenEye, like, mid-run, or, like, in the middle of one of these. There are in Perfect Dark. There are a couple. But not in GoldenEye. Also, yeah, like, so they're all at the beginning and the end. They're also often called cinemas in the GoldenEye community. I don't know why that is, but so you might hear me talk about, like, cutting the cinema. But yeah, so what you do is you cut the cinema for this one, like, basically immediately. Because the longer you wait for the first one, a guard has the opportunity to pop out and block you. Because the guards can move around in the opening cinema. And then, like, you also just cut the second one, because during that, Bond moves back slightly. He moves farther back the longer you wait. So, some weird mechanics there. Perfect Dark has much longer and more in-depth cinemas, and so it kind of sucks in that game when you have to wait for it, because in GoldenEye, for some of the levels, you want to wait the cinema. Like Cradle, And then any level where you use the 2.x control style, you want to wait the cinema. Because that way, it gives you time to, for 2.x, build up speed. And like for Cradle, it lets you Trevelyan run away from you, right? And some other stuff like that. Yeah, well. Okay. No, I got cornered. Man, that sucks. Like, oh, speed of what? Because, like, this isn't the fastest that you can go, I guess. Well, I don't know. I feel like I'm going pretty fast, to be honest. Like, I am strafing, and that is the faster version of movement. Because if you've ever played GoldenEye casually, if you just walk forward, you'll notice that it is much slower. But yeah, also, certain levels will feel faster because of boosts. Because if you get boosted towards the end, it feels much faster. But this time, like, if I'm not getting boosts, it doesn't feel like that at all. There is a way, though, just kind of silly, but there's a very weird thing in GoldenEye that is called the 2.x control style. That's talking about those control styles where you use two controllers. There's certain levels, not all of them. Like Bunker 1 is an example of one that doesn't benefit from this, but you can use a second controller. And the inputs from that controller are read during the opening cinema and closing cinema, but the opening one is why it's important. And so you can build up speed during the opening cinema, which makes things about 0.3 faster. Oh, so for the watch. Yeah, that's actually, the watch isn't counted for in-game time. So there's really no incentive for me to actually fix my watch inputs or whatever, because I could wait here forever and it does not change my time, in terms of Bunker 1 Agent 17. It would in a real-time attack, which people do. People do agent speedruns of this game. That's pretty common. So yeah, the thing is that if you pause, the time that it takes to get to Vaughn's face and the time it takes getting away from his face, those count towards the timer. What does not count is any time you spend in the pause, and that's dependent on how many times you've paused before. So yeah, something you'll see on Frigate, for example, is that people will do a whole bunch of quick pauses in a row because it makes it faster later. Oh man, bad boost. don't know though, you do bring up a good point. I don't know if it's possible to do a second quick pause at the beginning, which would help things a lot, but it's already pretty tight for one quick pause, and you do lose time on the door opening. Because when you do a quick pause at the beginning, ooh, this is looking real good. This is looking real good if I picked up the key. Come on, don't troll me. Alright. A little laggy, so it might be an 18. I think it's an 18. Yeah. I got a little too much lag there at the end, so I wasn't able to hit a 17. It's kind of silly, I agree, the whole pausing deal. It's a very weird mechanic. But then again, this game wasn't, in a way, was and wasn't made for speedrunning, because they give you that timer, and like, it's obviously wanting you to get a low clear time, right? It's just that that's sort of an unintended thing, I guess. Perfect Dark has a different thing, which is that all pauses are instant and instantly stop your in-game time, right? So what that means is that you can actually pause buffer things. Not all the time, but you can, right? Defection PA is an example of that. It's pretty ugly. That's specifically the worst offender in terms of pausing. But a lot of other levels, they only have a couple pauses, or like times where you can pause buffer like a shot at an enemy. But you can't pause buffer like the entire level. If you want to see that, you can look up The World Is Not Enough, which does have that problem, where you can literally pause buffer an entire level and get in-game times of 0 seconds, even though it takes you 2 hours to complete a run. So yeah, the whole thing about the second door one, like that's actually another thing that I think, I don't know about the like how good that strategy is, other than nobody else's 17 does it. And this is such an optimized time. Like, I don't know if that's the solution, but it could be. The biggest thing that I could do to like really guarantee this is just get a better and more consistent door warp at the end. If I'm able to do that, the rest of this will able to work. I just need to get a good warp and not get stuck on things. If I can put good warp, not get stuck on things, hit the quick pause, all in one level, right? No prob. Of course, that's also to say boosts. I need some boosts as well, because if I were to play this level and not get a single boost, then that's not enough to get a 17. You need boosts to get this level to go. Yeah, man. I think I missed the key. Yeah. Also missed the warp, so we're okay. Wrong weapon. No! Alright, yes, no. That was a very bizarre end. It was nowhere near 17 either. Yeah, so there are a couple different strategies for grabbing the key. And it depends on, you know, what you're looking for, I guess, because, like, there's easy and there's fast, and then there's, like, a middle ground between those. The fast one that does not require a boost is front of the table, which is what I've been attempting for the most part. That's where you run right at Boris and just, like, run up to the table, do a control stick turn away, right? That's quickest, theoretically. Then you have back of the table, which is the easiest. You just tilt your control stick slightly, and you run behind the table, but that requires a boost. Then you have middle of the table, which is sort of like in between those. A boost will mess you up, though, sometimes. Also, what Carl, see, like that one was just me just going for that. And this is looking pretty good. If I can just get, okay. And that guard got in my way. I need to make sure I'm on that. That could have been a 17. Oh, whatever. What Carl Jobs has been doing, as well as Randy Blue Chemo, when they were playing for 16, which is ridiculous, by the way. When they were playing for that time, they went for a run up to the table and then like with right strafe and then switch to left strafe, which should be slower than doing a control stick turn, but it's hard to get that control stick turn like faster than a strafe every time. So maybe that's part of it. So like I just did middle of the table like that and then got blown up by that boost that did not help. And of course I'm not gonna test these guys. Oh, so the reason why it looks like I'm speeding up is because the game, two reasons. One, the game's cutting out some of those frames with that black screen, so it looks like I've sped up. But then as well, a lot of the time I'm getting boosted. So, you know, I want to be speeding up when I shoot the camera like that. Alright, I'm not making this one, probably. Yeah, no. I'd have to be. I'm not. Ooh! Alright, this is a fun one, Tony. This is actually a glitch in the game that, or like a bug that causes this. So what happens is, if you're throwing the key as you pick up, or as a explosion goes on right around you, right? I'm not holding the data thief, but the game thinks I am. And the reason for that is the way that item selection works. It'll select like item 3 from the list, right? But then when you pick up the KF7 from the dying guard right in front of you, it'll bump the KF7 up top and push it down, so it thinks that you're actually picking up data thief. Basically, it's kind of more complicated than that, but I'm not actually holding the data thief. Like, I undo this, right? Still holding the key. So that's actually a big deal because, like, and when that was first found, it's like, hold on, guys. Like, wait, can we actually switch weapons without pausing? Because that would save like 5 seconds or more on like a whole bunch of levels right now. You would instantly, if you were able to find out how to do it, you would have untieds immediately. Oh man, I mashed it. That was bad. But yeah, you would be able to, if you were able to find a consistent way to just like switch weapons without pausing, you would already just go play any level, right? And you would have unties on every level basically immediately. Or a lot of them. It's really good. Is this looking good? Oh, dude. This might be it. What? That doesn't even make sense. I got a ridiculous warp, but I must have gotten stuck earlier. That's Birdie came in here one time, and he's like, that's the classic Bunker 1, when you're like, you know, I think I just got a 17, and it turns out it's actually just like a 19, right? Like, that is actually classic Bunker 1. That said, that warp was like absolutely insane. So the thing about that pause is that I thought about it more, and I don't think it's a time saver because, well, I mean, I did just do it. I guess I'll give that a go. No way. I think if I didn't do that second pause, it would have been 17. Oh, that's very nice. Get out of my way. Alright. No, it's not happening. Kind of know the pause mechanics. It's like you can put it like there and back really quick, and that's what counts it as a pause. Like if it's already up and you put it halfway down and back up, that does not count as a pause. Oh man, that was looking real nice. Nope. Back boost, baby. Another 13. Come on, boost me through, baby. Oh, that's looking very nice. Nope. That back boost messed me up. It messed up my beat timing. Couldn't open the door right. No, so yeah, the guards have a number of different positions they can take, because they're controlled by an AI. It's not like a single spawn position or anything. Sometimes they'll just wedge you in there and you can't get past them. Sometimes they'll be out in a line. Generally, if you see one, or what I've noticed at least, if you see one roll out at you, that's pretty good, which means he's out of the hallway and he can't block you. He's also behind you, so when you're running through the hallway, he can boost you, which is what you want. That time it didn't help because the other guards just back boosted me anyway, but sometimes, like, if they have a line formation, that's the best. They'll be out of your way. So I guess this is something that comes up a lot, but it's like, it's randomness, but it's not strictly RNG, as in, like, it's not really something that's, like, manipulable in any way, right? It's just randomness, I guess. Versus, like, an example of RNG in GoldenEye is the end of Statue. And the example of, like, at the end of Statue, you have to go pick up a flight recorder from one of, and to get the world record spawn is 2 in 17. That's literally an example of random number generation. Same deal with getting like the cinemas at the beginning of levels. For certain levels, you need certain beginning cinemas, or you can't have certain beginning cinemas. Like for Depot, you want to have a specific beginning cinema if you're using the 2.4 control style, which gets you an extra boost. But for Dam, one of the cinemas is 5 seconds slower than the other, so you just reset if you get it. Whatever. I missed the cam. I think that guy just blocks me. Yeah, I'm not gonna do so well on this one. Sometimes that guy will just run in circles, and I really don't get it. I haven't seen the one for Forbidden Memories that you're talking about, although, yeah, it is manipulable with, like, frame count, I guess, and that's actually something that is true of GoldenEye as well, except completely impractical. Like, completely impractical. Because it has to do with, like, how many frames since you've turned on your 64, right? Good luck, right? No way being able to actually deal with that in an effective way, right? Not just your previous inputs in-game. Although that is a component of it, like your previous inputs. So one of the things people do on runs is just, like, of statue. It's a joke, like, affect the FR, right? The flight recorder. And that's that you just slap a whole bunch of times. Even though it's completely pointless, it does change the RNG. And maybe that's what causes you to get it. Who knows? Well, or maybe not. Maybe it prevents you from getting the FR. You never know. This looking great if that guy does not back boost me. He did, so forget that. Oh, okay. That's cool to know that it's like one of those things that, like, technically you can manipulate it, but no. Unlike, say, Pokemon games, where it's like literally RNG manipulation is a literal thing you can do. Like, which is cool, I guess. But at the same time, it's hard to deal with. Ooh, I got there a little early. There we go. Misses. Yeah, that had little potential because I got stuck on the one guard, but good practice on getting that warp at the very least. So actually, I know I'm not transferring to walk, and the reason why is I'm using 1.2. And the difference is between 1.1, which is what most people are used to, and 1.2 is that 1.1 has analog control of your movement. So that means that you could accidentally be walking, but you want to go full speed all the time. So if you use 1.2 and bind it to the C buttons, you'll always be running. The difference on the stairs is that because I'm accelerating, like from changing straights. That's why you might see that. Because here I am and like, I switched from right to left. Or sorry, left to right. Although that time it was gonna, oh wait. This is something. Aw. Didn't get boosted out quick enough. I messed that one up. But, yeah, what I was saying is that 1.2, like, you couldn't see it on that last one because I got boosted, but it's because I'm switching strafes. That's not what I want. Oh shoot, I might make this one. Oh, that was very nice. Did I get the... Ah, just a little slow. If I gotten boosted out, that could have been a 17. Or I just made a couple cuts places. I'm gonna have to watch that one. That was close. Oh man, they were out of my way too. So close, dude. I'm actually just starting to be crushed by this because I've been working on this record for a solid like month and a half or so. And I still haven't gotten it. No.
The Rasta man in space.
Well, this one called the Punani. Coming from my Mr. Bay. You hear? Well, alright. I'm one here. Well, this one called the Punani. Coming from my Mr. Bay.
Easy viewing. That explains why. I was like, I didn't think that was the same mix anymore. I'm gonna change the mix. This is a much better one. I didn't realize autoplay was on for YouTube. Yeah, I'm not gonna make that. 13, 14. A little slow. So yeah, that back door actually, yeah, it's whether, it's determined by whether the first guard in this first room pushes that alarm. You see that big red button? That's it, right? And if the guard presses that, you hear the alarm, right? And the music changes. If you have music turned on, which I don't right now. But that's how you know that, that's what causes those guards to walk out and come out at you. If they don't, if that alarm doesn't get pushed, then they don't. And that door, or it gets delayed, then those guards, the door just won't be ready. And that's pretty frustrating sometimes, but you can make it work. Yeah. And on the summer. I think I'm gonna speed. Yeah, maybe. I'm gonna speed. Alright, I mean, I don't think Clipman is... I think Clipman's pretty good, actually, but, you know... What's your idea? What do you think of changing to? Oh, you want me to think of something. Okay, I thought you were asking for feedback on something. I just read your thing again. Tough one. I'll get back to you on that, because I would go for some sort of meme-y thing about including Tony, because everybody knows you as Tony, right? So you could do something like that, right? You've supplanted other Tony, which would be Tony Two Shines, Lamau, yeah, destroyed. Hyper Tony. Combining variety of things. I mean... Oh, this is looking real good. This is looking real good. Oh, did I just get back boosted? Ugh. So dumb. Pariah? That is an example of someone who has, like, their life together, right? Like, I completely agree with you on that, right? One of my favorite tags so far is actually a Perfect Dark player, which would be Paragon, right? It's like, it just sounds like, it's not too serious, it's not too funny, right? It's like, it seems like just a serious tag to have. Sort of like Armada. Armada is the same deal. Like, that's like a serious, it's like somebody who has it all together, right? Versus like, Big Vegeta Blunts. Alright, shout outs to Big Vegeta Blunts, like, I've said his name in this context a couple times, right? Like, because it's not serious in the same way. Like, oh, who do you have to play next in bracket? Armada. Oh no, who do you have to play next in bracket? Big Vegeta Blunts. Haha, Big Vegeta Blunts, right? No. The hyper slide. Dude, don't give me nightmares. Please tell Samus R&D that. I want to see their reaction. Like when you say, man, I wish I would have invented it as the Super Wave Dash so I could have called it the hyper slide. Which actually would have been hilarious. Like, wow. Hyper Slide isn't terrible of a name for it either, because number one is descriptive of who, say you were to have discovered it, right? The person who discovered it, but as well just in general what it means. Because like you're sliding far, you know, it's Hyper Slide, right? So, unfortunate. I mean, it's an okay name, to be honest. I mean, that is what it is. It's like, it sort of is like a Wave Dash, except, you know, extra far, right? Super Wave Dash. That said, I will say Super Wave Dash I think is decent, but Super Duper Wave Dash is just kind of dumb. Slow warp. That wasn't gonna be a 17 no anyway. I was slow in some other places. This is a banger, this song. Yeet.
When I'm right, telling me that I'm wrong. But I know, now I understand. Now I see your wicked plan. I'm a junglist. I'm a junglist. Don't try to change my plan. Understand. Why won't you understand? I'm a junglist. Understand.
Hyper Sniper Slide. I'm gonna pretend I didn't read that, because that is absolute. Oh man, that would be. I can't imagine a universe in which that would happen. Like, what a cruel and twisted world that must be. I'm just kidding, of course. That is kind of funny. I will admit, Hyper Sniper Slide, pretty good.
I'm a jungleistic
Dog, you pieces of junk. Why would you do that to me?
Why won't you understand?
But it's not a Michael Jackson bumbleclot element. And not a little lamb with the next one named Prince elements and them kind of little big bop bumbleclot elements.
I'm a jungleist. Don't try to change my plan. Don't try to change my plan.
Run it back. Some of them have set up a plan. So set up your future. And so must get a plan. And you will make it if you try. Chibale, you will make it if you try. Rastaman, the natty dread, you'll make it if you try. Without the race, and they navigate on the waters. Nowadays, man, I'm not my position, and they can't straw. Let them and we can't stay time and straw. Without the race, and that they get on and not notice. Nowadays, wanna be set up a plan, secure your future. They know them a jam it with the navigator. But the man, them a go on like them a vulture. Them no business with the come and suffer and them no shop. Turn on the heat and increase the pressure. But they can't get us to the
Okay, two things. One, I don't think you should be mad that you lost to Antlion because he's better than you and has been around longer. So, first of all, that. Second, I don't know. I don't know what. I mean, what do you think was wrong with the set? Like, what happened? Why did you lose? If you can tell me a couple of things about, like, what you think happened. I can give you advice for those situations, but it's harder for me to give advice against like how do you beat Antlion since I have not played him very much. I already told you what I know about, like, you know, that I thought, you know, ferrying him through platforms was pretty good, but other than that, I don't remember anything. So dumb. Gamma's gonna make it through there. Not a quick pause. Okay, if the best thing you could say about that set is like, I just got Falcoed, then I don't think you really knew what was happening. Like, what do you mean you weren't used to his playstyle? What was he doing that was bothering you? Or like, what was he doing that like made it hard for you to win? Ooh, that was looking good. This guy might block me though. Hope not. Yeah, he did. Still not. That's gonna be an 18. I mean, sure, mad that you lost in general is one thing. It's another thing to be mad that you lost to somebody better than you. It's like, especially if you didn't throw. I mean, if you, like, SD'd a whole bunch of times, I'd say, you know, when you were up, I'd be like, okay, you know, that stinks, I feel, right, you know? But, I don't know. Just kind of interested to hear what Antlion did. good. Except I'm getting back boosted. That was pretty good. Okay, couple things. If he's gonna laser grab you, you're best to just either get out of the situation or a B or something. If you know he's gonna try and just like mix up your shield with lasers, like try not to just be shielding his lasers. Like you can get hit by one and then F smash, or not F smash, F tilt him or something like that is just an example of something you can do. You can also, if you know he's gonna like try and hit you where you currently are, or like do a laser grab where you are, wave dash back at a shield, right? And he can't do that anymore. You can like down smash him for it. I'll admit though, it is kind of hard to deal with that, and like if the player's skilled and knows like where you might escape, and like spaceanimals.com does, then good luck. Like it's hard, but you can do it.
Regulate any stealing of this property. We're damn good too.
Come on, it's so annoying. Not gonna make that. That was looking good too. Until then.
Who works for Mr. Council is regulated. Regulate any stealing of his property. We're damn good too. Who works for Mr. Council is regulated. Regulate any stealing of his property. We're damn good too. Who works for Mr. Council is regulated. Regulate any stealing of his property. We're damn good too. Who works for Mr. Council is
Alright, so if you know he's gonna do a double laser, there are a couple things you can do. Or even if you don't. So what you can do is you can double jab. That's an example of one of the things you can do if he's at a decent-ish percent. Otherwise, it's too low. He'll just be able to re-grab ledge. Also, you can nair him at a shield after the first laser, or you can stay above both of the lasers and come down with a nair. All of those will beat double laser from ledge. So there you go. That's something that you can use against any Falco player, and it's really helpful. Ooh, that was looking real nice. If I got the key, did I grab it? No! Ah, I missed that warp. That was so bad. That could have been 17 right there. You're just gonna have to experiment, I guess, Tony, like with what's gonna work for you, because like all those things I mentioned should beat all double lasers as far as I know. So just like get practice in a friendly against any Falco player, like just implementing that. Maybe like, I bet HS would know, right? Like, I bet he's an example of a person who's somewhere around your skill level who would be able to double laser from the ledge, and then you need to test it out there, right? That would do you some good. I think I just cornered myself. Yeah, that's what you need to just test things out when you're in a friendly and see how they work for you. It's hard to know, even if somebody, if you're doing something right, or if like you're knowing how to use something, if you aren't correctly doing it. Or like you don't have experience correctly doing it and you're like, wow, that's exactly right. You'll know. Oh man. I think this might be my last one, or at least maybe next completion, something like that. I'm getting tired. It's late. Oh man, I missed the clip pause again. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna go to bed. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, to, I guess, a Happens GoldenEye stream. Thank you, Tony, for showing up. Definitely cool to talk to you about some, speed running and melee and whatnot. And thanks for everyone who followed me this stream. So I will catch you guys later. Peace out.